The President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, has ruled out political negotiations with the M23 rebel group. This follows remarks by M23 that they were expecting negotiations with Kinshasa. Tshisekedi's move is seen as one that could hamper the peace process. The army has been fighting the rebel group that occupies territory around the eastern city of Goma. The instability has displaced thousands of people in the region.
I just want to clarify that we are not going to have any political dialogue with this group, simply because we know how those who attack us operate. It is through this kind of dialogue that they take the opportunity to infiltrate us, and later on come with false claims and justify their aggression of our country. We will not do it simply because we have learned the lessons of the past.
Let's get more details from Chris Ochamringa, who's live for us in Kinshasa. Chris, what has been the reaction to President Tshisekedi's announcement that there will be no political negotiations with the M23?
Well, Penina, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Many people are against the government having any talks with the M23 rebels because they believe it will ultimately result in either the rebels being integrated into the national army or being given political positions. And, you know, in the previous governments in the DRC, there have been similar initiatives which have not stopped the fighting in the east of the DRC for more than 20 years. In 1998, there was a rebel movement known as the Rally for Congolese Democracy that was backed by Rwanda and Uganda, and they were fighting against the government of President Laurent Désiré Kabila. There were a lot of atrocities committed by that rebel movement, and in 2003, the DRC government decided to hold a dialogue with all rebel groups, including the Rally for Congolese Democracy in South Africa, in Sun City. But then the RCD pulled out and continued, committing atrocities in eastern DRC. In 2004, there was another rebel movement known as the National Congress for the Defense of the People. It was also largely composed of ethnic Tutsis from eastern DRC. They also started fighting against the government of President Joseph Kabila, and in 2009 they were integrated into the army. There was a peace deal that was signed in 2009. They were integrated into the army and promised positions. And later on in 2012, they broke out. The rebels said that that deal, which they signed on March 23rd, 2009, was not respected by the DRC government. And that is how the M23 movement emerged. It came out from the CNDP, a previous rebel group. So the Congolese president is saying that we still have very fresh memories of what has been happening by the Tutsi community in eastern DRC that's being used as a proxy by Rwanda to commit atrocities in eastern DRC and plunder their minerals. Rwanda has repeatedly denied that accusation, but the Congolese people are saying trop c'est trop, which is enough, and they do not want to have any peace talks with the M23. Penina?
So in light of this, Chris, what will be the likely implication of the president's statement, especially for stability in the east of the country?
Well, it's likely to lead to a collapse of the peace initiative led by the East African community and the International Conference on the Great Lakes region. You know, the East African community-led process known as the Nairobi process, which is being mediated by former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, made it very clear that all armed groups in the DRC, there are about 120, are supposed to solve this conflict through dialogue. But the key condition was that they're supposed to all cease fire and withdraw from all their areas that they have captured. And so the M23 rebels heeded this call and has recently started pulling out of the areas that they had occupied in North Kivu province. But we have just seen a statement by the M23 spokesperson saying that now that President Tshisekedi has said he's not going to hold talks with them, they see no reason to pull out of some of the areas that they're still in control of. And so this really poses a very serious threat to the region, a continuation of the conflict, and it's coming at a time when people who were displaced by this conflict have been returning to the areas. And so they are the ones who are really going to bear the brunt of this conflict, and we're likely to see a continuation of fighting in eastern DRC.